Alright, hood hack number 1. If you're banging out the flake, but you're still on the scratch, you're not going to want to let the doll know that you have a secondary income, right? So when you're in the post office with your labour card on a Monday morning, leave the Canada Goose jacket at home, dress a scruffy shit with holes, and don't drive up in your 212 Mondeo, rock up on a bike, even an e-scooter, you know what I mean? Just be looking like scruff, look like you have no money, even though you have more money than anyone that works for the government, yeah? Hood hack, stay tuned for more. Right boys, hood hack number 2. If you're going out into town, a few scoops with the boys, what you're going to want to do is have your box of smokes, right? Have a second empty box, take one single fag out, put that in that box, right? So then some brass monkey comes up to you in the smoking area. He's like, oh, you're short of a smoke, bro. Whip out the box, open it, there's one smoke in it. Say, sorry pal, I've only got one left, yeah? Hood hacks. Stay tuned for part 3. When you're out in the pub with the lads on a sesh, getting gargled, having a few scoops, what are you going to want to do, right? Bring 2 lighters, one that works and then one that's wasted. So if someone comes up to you that you don't know, some chung one from Finglets is coming up to you and she's like, oh, how are you, can I get a shot of your lighter? You hand her the one that doesn't work, and oftentimes people will fuck off, put it in their pocket immediately, and even if she doesn't, she goes click click click, that doesn't work, and then you're like, oh soz, hit the road jack. Right, hood hacks number 4. We've all been in this situation when you're at a gaff party and you are the only person with green, and it's a melt because they think that you're fucking Chapo El Escobar, because they're all coming to you like you're Don Corleone. Please sir, may I have a gint? So what you do, right? Just fucking, you get one of these grinders that has 3 layers, right? There's one on the bottom for the keef and there's one in the middle for the green. Just fucking keep most of your green in the keef part, tiny little bit in the top, right? So then if someone's like, oh, you're on a joint, you whip it out and be like, oh, that's all that's left, man. You roll one, they smoke it, and then you don't have to share. Sharing is caring, but also it is for fucking dopes. Hood hacks, it's your boy SPAkrumpit. I'm gonna be here all day. Stay tuned for episode numero 5. Hood hack numero 2, right? So you're jonesing, you're fiending for a bag of haze, right? None of your boys have any. So you text a friend, he's like, anyone have a bit there? Oh yeah, my mate down in Fortlawn has a bit, yeah? You don't know this cunt, you don't trust this cunt. So what you're going to do when you meet him, ask him what weight it is, right? And then go home, and you're going to want to have a Josie in your gaff, even if you're not selling. Throw the bag on that. If the weight is anything under than what he said it is, fucking block that cunt. Send him a picture of the Josie with less than it said it was. Send that to the mate that recommended this fella to you. So this motherfucker's reputation is ruined. That was hood hacks number 5. Stay tuned for number 6. Hood hacks numero 5. So we all have that mate. He's the gilly, he's the gimp, he's the runaround in the group, right? It's typically all the boys show up, we're all around a joint, we're all ordering pizza max, and you send this little tray bag out to make the tea for everyone, right? If you're in that position, what you're going to want to do is make the dirtiest, disgustingest cup of tea ever. First time they ask you to do it. So like 20 sugars more than they asked. Dip the tea bag for 1 second, so it's just water. Half the cup is milk. Don't even boil the kettle. And then they're never going to ask you to do it again. That's hood hack number 6. Stay tuned for number 7. Okay, so hood hack number 27. So for people out there that you sound a bit scaldy, you look a bit scaldy, you have a baby face, when you want to go out drinking, none of the bouncers are going to fucking let you into anywhere, right? So the natural solution to this is to go knacker drinking in a park. But a lot of people make the mistake sitting there with a lot of cans or a lot of bottles openly drinking, and then the fucking bacon come rolling past, try you in the squad car, right? So what I like to do, get yourself a bottle of cola, yeah? Pour about half of that shit down the drain, maybe even more, pour about 60% out, fill the rest with Morgans, right? Because you're not going to be sitting there with beer. You could put that in a Lucasade bottle, but you're going to need about 20 of them to even feel a buzz when you're like me. So yeah, you're going to want about 60% Morgans and 40% cola. And, you know, 7 or 8 of them, and you and the boys are having more crack than you could have in any fucking nightclub, yeah? That's your crumpet. This is hood hack number 42, right, yeah? This one goes out to all the single mothers out there. Crumpet cares if don't nobody else care. So, let's say you have a baby dad, yeah? And he's crying to pour him out. He says he hasn't a washer and he can't be paying you the maintenance that he owes you, right? But he's a little two-faced, right? He's Denard's version of Harvey Dent, yeah? So he's fucking trapping on the block. He's an absolute roadman. So he has more guap than a fucking salad bar, right? So you're going to have to take him to court, obviously. And this fella probably has been through the court system before, so he knows that it looks better if he turns up, right? Doesn't matter if you bring a solicitor, doesn't matter if you even get an. The judge probably won't give you an because judges hate single mothers in this country. But you're in the courtroom with him as an alibi, because while the two of you are there, a load of young flits, a load of fucking runarounds around at his fucking gaff, fleecing the place. Everything. 69-inch fucking plasma telly, yeah. All his Montclair neck warmers, fucking, like if he has a PS5 there, fucking take that off and you get a tenner for that when you go into Kex, yeah. Fucking all sorts. He probably has a biscuit tin full of blueies under his bed, yeah. So, boom. That's how you do it. That's how it's done, yeah. Big shout out to all you single mothers. This is hood hack number 59. So this one goes out specifically to all you bad men out there that are spitting fire bars is our rappers, right? Some of you might have court cases, some of you might have warrants, right? But you don't want to be sleeping on the rap game. You don't want people forgetting who the GOAT is, yeah? So when you're making your music video, right, obviously there's going to be a lot of guns, obviously there's going to be a lot of drugs. That's in every music video of every rapper ever. Thing is, right, that's going to look bad in your court case. So at the very, very start of the fucking video, you have to have a big massive disclaimer. It stays on screen for 10 minutes long, massive text. It says all the narcotic substances, drug paraphernalia and weaponry in this video are props, right? Then you're fine, you can get away with that. Even if you're getting questioned by the bacon, yeah, by the fuzz, you just have to use the word satire. They might be talking about shit, saying, oh yeah, well in your music you're saying that you're killing people, no, and you just say the word satire. I don't know what that means, no one knows what that means, but it's like back in the day when you'd say it's a prank, bro, and you just get away with doing some weird shit. That's what satire is, right? Big up, yeah, all yous are goats, yeah, brrr, yeah, roadman on the block trapping. Right boys, hood hack number 76 I think I'm on now, yeah. So an epidemic in Dublin of young flits getting addicted to the devil's lettuce. Saints cabbage is ruining society, right? So if you want to make that better, you want to change that, what I do, get yourself a little baggie, few of them, fill them all up with oregano, whatever, sell them to a lot of stupid young flits, overcharge them, and then they're going to go and smoke it and be like, oh, this is shit, I'm never buying this again. Boom, drug crisis solved. Yeah, SPAkrumpit, stay tuned for more. What's up my G's, this is hood hack number 86. So this one goes out to people that are flat out smoking the backy, right? Whether it's wacky backy or JPS, it doesn't fuck matter. This applies to all these, right? So when you're getting tobacco, typically it'll come with these shitty little leaf skins, right? Which are absolutely disgusting. They taste like a copybook that's been under your bed for the last 15 years. If you're one of these weirdos that likes to read books, fucking use it as a bookmark, right? I'm gonna fuck that shit straight in the bin. What you're gonna want to get is Blue Risley, yeah? These motherfuckers are so thin, it's thinner than a single strand of hair. When you smoke this shit, the only thing that you're tasting is delicious gangster leaf and not a lot of fucking skin, right? So yeah, that's it. That's a hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored content. Big out to this video's sub-sponsor, Rizla Company. Go to the affiliate link in my bio and use code HOODHACK at checkout to get 10% off your first order over 50 quid and also a free strip of extra slim filters. Alright, hood hack number 99, right? If you have an impending court case for a drug-related charge, what you're going to want to do is go into rehab a few months before the case, right? And that just looks good. When you're in court, then you can be like, oh, Your Honour, I've been fucking blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to turn my life around. He's going to eat that shit up because he's a dope, right? And then, right, just immediately go back selling drugs as soon as you get off scot-free. And the thing is, most people in rehab end up coming out and continuing to do drugs. So while you're in there, you're going to get new contacts, new customers. It's a win-win situation for everyone, yeah. What's happening? It's SPAkrumpit. We out here with another hood hack. This is number 175. So if you're from a lower socio-economic, disadvantaged, working class, underprivileged area, and you put that on your CV, for example, if you put Blanchardstown on your CV, people aren't going to want to hire you. They're going to see that CV and they're going to set it on fire and dance around it. So what you're going to want to do is put Castleknock instead of Blanchardstown, because they're going to be like, okay, this fella isn't a drug dealer, criminal, absolute madman, roadman on the block. So that'll get you the interview, but you have to think about the next step, right? When you go into the job interview, you're going to have to work on your acting abilities in terms of how you sound and how you speak. So instead of coming in being like, alright boss, what's the story? I'd love a fucking job in here, yeah? I'm bleeding on the scratch for about 50 years. I need a fucking job. C-Tech are gonna cut me off, bro. Don't come in like that. Come in and be like, hello, yes, I'm very interested in a position within your prestigious company. And once they hear that, you're going to get hired straight away. You're going to be manager within 15 minutes. And then once you're running that show, you can crack the whip and fucking, you know what I mean? You can be your true self. You can speak your truth, live your best life, but get that management position first, right? Because they can't sack you then, right? SPAkrumpit, you're done now.
What's happening, Crumpet Cult? This is hood hack number 420. So, if you're tramping on the block, stacking up the guap, what you're going to want to do, right, look identical to every other run around Dublin, right? Because you notice a lot of them dress the exact same. They have a black Canada Goose jacket, black tracksuit bottoms, black runners. They have a high fade, dark haircut, right? And the idea behind that is, if you get spotted on CCTV, if a witness catches you, you know, smashing someone's nanny's windows in over an unpaid dime bag, then you're not identifiable based on your looks. So no visible piercings, no visible tattoos, no long hair, no glasses, nothing like that. You all want to blend in, look identical, look a big hive mind, like you're all clones, yeah? So that's it. Keep that in mind, yeah? Stay tuned.
What's happening, boys? It's Lil Crumpy here on the block. So this is hood hack number 605. So do you ever notice when the lads are like walking around town or like in the streets, they just spit straight onto the deck, yeah? Actually, the reason why you want to do that is to mark your territory, right? Say you're from fucking Tala and you're over in Finglets, like, do you know what I mean? You spit onto the floor as in marking, this is my turf. I know our hoods have beef, but I live here now. You know, big dirty green, you know, go straight onto the deck, yeah? So it's like dogs pissing on a tree. You know, this is my territory, but it's just a big, disgusting load of phlegm straight onto the deck. Also, when you're smoking a lot of joints, your throat is going to fill up with bile and it's going to be brown. So, yeah, that's just... Make sure, right, if you're in a new hood, you just moved into an area, make sure to spit as often everywhere. And, you know, if someone's walking towards you, they look a bit scaldy, you just do a big straight onto the deck, and then they're going to know whose fucking hood they're in. Do you know what I mean? That's it, man. Big Crump Daddy and the Hazy. Yeah, we going to be back for more.
What's happening, my G's? This is hood hack number 507. So sometimes you're with the boys, let's say the 6 years, right? And someone has to run over to Chinese, pick up the few spice bags, right? No one wants to do it, everyone's just vibing, chilling, listening to some fucking Coldplay. So I invented this game for these situations. It's like Russian roulette, but I like to call it rolly roulette, right? So you get a pack of normal extra slim filters and a pack of menthol extra slim filters. Now, to look at these filters are absolutely indistinguishable from each other. So how you decide who has to run over and go to Curdy shop and pick up the food, you're all 6, right? 5 of them are regular rollies, and the other one of the other ones is a menthol. Throw them all into a little tin. Close the lid on that motherfucker. Shake it around, and then whoever gets the menthol rollie is the one that has to go to the Chinese. Yeah, keep her lit.
Satire. What's good in the hood, lads? What's crack-a-lack, and hope you're all keeping well. Yeah, this is hood hack number 606. So, do you ever be out in town and there's a red light? As Lewis is coming past, there's buses and cars and all this shit, and one person goes across, starts crossing, jaywalking on the red light, and then everyone comes across, right? That is the best time to cross the road, because you can go straight into the middle of the crowd, and if anyone gets ploughed down, you have a lot of fucking like human body shields between you. So like never even, like, don't even wait for the green light. If one person starts going, you hop out with them, like, and then everyone's gonna follow, and you're gonna have a big like fucking, you know what I mean, literally body armor around you, body star armor, fucking, yeah. And you can be that person as well. That makes the first step, because it's like a lot of like flock of seagulls migrating south for the winter. Once one person goes, everyone's gonna go, like group think. Do you know what I mean? Hive mind type shit. That's it, boys. Yeah, fucking stay safe. Don't actually jaywalk, or you're gonna get smacked with a car. I'm not responsible for anything that happens if you listen to these hood hacks. This is satire.
Hood hack number 201. When you're smoking a rollie, never exhale. Absolute maximizes fucking the nick buzz. If you're exhaling, you're wasting delicious gangster leaf. Me and the boys never exhale. I don't even know how to do that. What's happening, babies? Right, this is hood hack number 7 billion. This one goes out to all the tourists, the tourists, the tourists who are stupid and crazy enough to want to come to Dublin on a fucking holiday, which is the worst decision you could ever make, right? Thing is about Dublin, right? If they know that you're a foreigner and that you're only here for a little holiday, you're going to get pure robbed. They're going to know that you have a load of money in your pocket to spend in the GPO gift shop and to fucking purchase a room in the travel lodge for a week. So there's a couple of things you're going to need to be aware of just to make sure that you don't absolutely get murked in the streets of D1. So a couple of things, right? If don't wear any of them big fucking scaldy hats, the bleeding snapback that says Dublin on it in big massive capital letters, yeah? Don't be stopping and looking at the signs that say the spire is this way, you know what I mean? Don't stop and ask someone for directions. If you go up to someone and you say, where's Asha? And they're going to be like, right, you go all the way down that way, about an hour away from where anybody else is, go down a dark alleyway, and while you're travelling down there, he's pure texting the boys in chat, and he's like, right, there's a lot of foreigners heading your way, yeah, get the bazooka and get the flamethrower, and we rob all that money off them. As well, like, if you're talking on the bus, you're talking about amongst your mates, you're going to want to practice a Dublin accent. So instead of being like speaking pure jibber jabber, absolute fucking speaking in tongues, not English, you're going to need to hablo English, and you're going to need to be like, "Here, boys, we bleed and float over, get a selfie at the Molly Malone statue." So yeah, that's just, you need to do all of this to make sure that you do not get absolutely wet up, right? Fucking, this is for your own safety. Yeah, listen to Daddy Crumpit. Crumpit knows. Hey Twitch chat, on this episode of Hood Hacks number 5 billion, we're going to be talking about what to do if your phone has a wiretap on it, right? So the fuzz, they'll be pure fucking stalking people's phone calls if they reckon that you're a bogey. And you can tell, right? So if you're ringing a fella, and before it even starts ringing, you hear a little tiny indistinguishable little click, a little... That's how you know that that conversation is being recorded and listening to, yeah? And fucking, that's why people talk in code on the phone, right? They'd be like, give us a bottle, give us a jacket, do you know what I mean, Josie, shit like that. But the thing is, there's probably at least 2 or 3 Garda working in Dublin that are from Dublin. You know, most of them are bog devils coming straight out of Culchiville. But there's a couple of Dublin ones, so they might pull in the token fucking fella from Ballymun and say, here, what does a bottle mean? So what you need to say is, at the very start of the conversation, I do not consent to my phone conversations being recorded without my prior knowledge. And that's going to work if you say it at the start, but they could just chop that out when they're playing it in court. So you're going to need to say it every fucking 2 seconds on the phone. So I do not consent to my conversation being recorded without my prior knowledge. What's happening, bro? You're going to give us a shot of it. I do not consent to my conversation being recorded without my prior knowledge. Shot of a big bleeding bag of Bobby Brown. I do not consent to my conversations being recorded without my prior knowledge. I'll give you on tick, pal. Have it out my labour, the money out my labour next week. I do not consent to my voice messages being recorded without my prior knowledge. And then it's completely void in court. So big up, my guys. Make sure you use that one when you're ordering a few bleeding eggs of hash for tomorrow on Sunday for Easter. Satire. What's happening, Dongus Malonguses? So on Hood Hack number 5.6, I'm going to be telling you how to avoid the TV licence inspector, because essentially the TV licence fee is an absolute fucking sham. So RTE, everyone there is completely overpaid, and nobody watches RTE unless you're a boomer, right? RTE player, worst fucking streaming service of all time. I'd literally rather watch someone get their head grated off with a cheese grater. So how you avoid it, right? He's going to knock at the door. And you don't want to be living in fear with your curtains closed and your telly off. And you don't want to be one of these muppets coming out going, oh, I don't have a telly. Because you have to stand up to RTE. All this money is going directly into Ryan Tubridy's nose, if you know, you know. So what you do is you open the door and you be like, oh, he goes, have you got a telly? You go, yeah, 100%, bro. And then you float in, you grab that telly, you walk out the front to him, give him a smack over the head with the fucking thing, right? Then empty out his wallet. He's probably going to have like a couple of grand on him because he's working for the government, the RCE. And then you just go and buy a new telly and leave the smashed telly and the inspector man out the front as a warning if any other inspector comes, yeah? So that's how it is, that's what it do, man. Satire. Happening, my guys. Yeah, this is Hood Hack number 3.14. Right, so do you ever be outside of a pub out in the front smoking a gint, right? And someone you do not know walks up to you and goes, oh, what's the story? You can have a blow off, that smells lovely, right? And you don't want to fucking give it to them, but you also, they look a bit bogey and they could pull a bleeding skeng on you. So, right, what I like to do in them situations, right, be like, yeah, pal, I'll just take one more pull and then I'll pass it to you. What you do is, before you take the pull, you pure go, get a lot of phlegm all over your lips, pure like, smack that shit all in, and then put the smoke up to your mouth and just be like, put the roach like all the way back down past your teeth, just pure fucking make love to that rolling. Ask some slutty bird that you know her tips on giving that sloppy toppy. So you give that pure absolutely manky fucking spin cycle blowy on the end of your fucking gint, right? And pure suck it. And when you hands it to, and when you pull out your mouth, it's all soggy. There's all saliva and phlegm and boil all over that motherfucker. And this is a test of character. If you point that towards him, go, here you go, bro, and he's like, oh, I'm alright, man, then you know that fucking he learned his lesson for asking. And if he's still willing to take a drag and he takes it off you, he just fucking deserves it at that stage, you know what I mean? Because he is fiending, do you know what I mean? He's having the DTs from not having a bit of haze. So that's satire.
What's happening, gang? Welcome to another Hood Hack. This one goes out to all you young G's. Maybe you're buying long skins and you're a little bit embarrassed, you're a little bit shy and awkward, nervous, because you don't do it that often. Maybe you're doing it in the local shops. There's like some L1 working there. You've been getting Mars bars off her since you were 12. You don't want her knowing you're a degenerate, right? So what you do is you walk in, you act like you're on the phone. You walk up and you know, you're getting your can of Coke or whatever, and then you're like on the phone. You're like, sorry, what was it you were looking for again? Long skins, was it? And then you turn to your one like, this fella's looking for long skins. This drug addict on the phone to me here now wants long skins. Do you have any? And then she whips out some, and he's like, and you're like, is Raw's okay, bro? Yeah, that's all right, grand. No one's on that phone. You're just lying. And then you're like, yeah, Raw's perfect, sound, boom. And you just do that every time you're getting long skins forever, baby. SPAkrumpit Hood Hacks. Good tidings to you. Welcome to another Hood Hack. Today I'm going to be telling you how you get into like the next door sesh. You know, when like the neighbours are just on an absolute mad one. There's just music at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you just want to get invited, but you're not actually tight with them neighbours. What you do, like, right, wait for a moment. Like, if it's a birthday, this can be very handy. You just join in when they're all singing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. You just kind of sneak in the door and just like blend in. That's a good one. You could do that with any song. If people are like singing along to something, you could just like burst through the door when the bass drops and everyone's just too deep in the zone to even notice. Or you can smoke a bit of something that smells very fragrant, and they'll smell that when they go out to have a smoke, and they're like, ooh, let's invite that fella. What's happening, my cult? Welcome to another episode of Hood Hacks. Today this is going to solve the issue that you have when you have to leave with your bank card and your passport as ID when you're going somewhere, because you know the bouncer's a prick, or you know that you look young. So what you could do, you get a Revolut card, custom Revolut card, and on the Revolut card is a picture of the relevant page of your passport. So then you just flash that at the bouncer, and for nothing else it's worth trying, just to see him be confused, and he's going to turn you away. Obviously he's going to say, this is a Revolut card, this isn't photo ID. But someone do that and let me know how it gets on. Hood Hacks for life, SPAkrumpit. What's happening, G's? Welcome to another Hood Hack. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to skip a blunt rotation, how to cheat it so that you can get infinite drags and skip the queue every single time, right? So for this purpose of this demonstration, I'm using some coinage. This is the rotation, this is the blunt, this one's you, right? So this fella's having a little toke, puff, puff, pass, right? Most blunt rotations go clockwise. A lot of people don't know that. So then puff, puff, you pass it to this fella, right? And then let's say you know this fella over here likes a bit of rap music. You're like, oh, here, chap, check out this track I found on my phone. Bada bing, you're around here. He passes it to you. Bop, bop, bop. You pass it to him. And then at this stage, you'd be like, oh shit, I'm after fucking up blunt rotation, boys. I'll go back, and then boom, boom, and it goes back to you again. Mad quick, yeah? Hood Hacks for life, SPAkrumpit. How come everybody's talking about their exes and the dating scene now? It comes up like immediately in the talking stage. Like everyone's talking about my ex this, my ex that, asking you about yours. Feels like a fucking job interview. Every fella can be like, oh yeah, them hoes was crazy. Every bird as well, right? They have one ex that's my ex, and that's the big bad. That's the devil. And then there's a lot, the rest of them are just one of my exes. But there's the one, my ex. Them hoes be para as well. You're just walking around with them and they're like, shit, oh no, that's a fella that looked like my ex. That's a white fella, and my ex was a white fella. I thought that was him there. What's happening, my G's? Welcome to another Hood Hack today. Right, this one is fucking genius. You and the boys, you're all like standing around, possibly having a smoke upon something that may or may not be legal, right? You just might be holding some shit. There might be a combined 10-year sentence amongst you and the boys. So what you do, right, you have one fella. He's the designated runner. He's not the designated driver. He's the designated runner. And we make sure that fella is like squeaky clean. He's got no fucking cases pending. He's got no fucking priors. And you don't have him hold anything. He might take the joint, but doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any drugs. He doesn't have any weaponry, right? But then when the guards show up, when the guards are creeping around the corner, when they're even looking in your direction, you get the designated runner to just fucking take off 1,000,000 miles an hour in some other direction. The guard on instinct are going to chase after the person that's fleeing and forget about the dudes that are chilling. Hood Hacks It's me. It's SPAkrumpit Hood Hacks every day, all day.
What's happening, gang? Welcome to another Hood Hack. Today I'm going to be telling you how to get out of a scrap, how to get out of a fight. If things have gotten out of hand, they've gone awry, you're about to get slapped up. Here's how you avoid conflict and de-escalate the violence levels of that situation, right? So a lot of people will tell you to use the old tried and true method of pretending that you're crazy to get out of the fight, the other fella be intimidated and scared. Doesn't always work. So what I do, I put a spin on it. I act like I'm insane, but in an incredibly homoerotic way. So it's like he starts squaring up to you, you spread your legs, you're like, go on, swing a kick at my balls, bro. See how hard it makes me. Go on, slap me in the nipples. See how erect they are. Pure spin around, stick your arse at him. Go on, swing a kick, man. See how aroused it makes me. Do you know what I mean? And they're just gonna be confused. That's the ultimate way to win a fight, is just confuse the opponent before the fight starts and then escape. Literally, my whole life, I never got ID'd once, right? It's because I looked like I was 40 since I was 14, covered in tattoos, big smokers, cough, James Earl Jones, deep voice, do you know what I mean? I never get ID'd. It happened to me for the first time in my life the other day. Someone was like, blah, blah, blah. I was just trying to get into a club. Bouncer was like, look at that fucking ID. Everyone in the queue, the music stopped in the club. Everyone in the queue started laughing and pointing at this dude. Like, are you a muppet, Mr. Bouncer, man? SPAkrumpit is clearly 66 years of age.
Right, here's a little hood hack for the boys. This is for when you're getting a bag and you want to make sure that it's nice green before you go all the way home with it. Because if you're getting it on tick, you could just drop it back to the fella and say, this is nice, I'm not getting it, if you smoke a bit and it's not lovely, right? So getting the bag, yeah, that's all fine, but rolling a joint like around the corner from your man's gaffer in the park or whatever, that's a bit red hot. So I'd recommend getting like a little pipe out of like asha. So then you can get the bag off your man, just pull out a little bud, throw it in the pipe, walk around the corner, puff, puff. You can taste test that shit, see if it's nice, and if it's nice, there you go. Now you're stoned on the way home. If it's not nice, then you can throw it back in the letterbox and text your man saying, fuck that's rotten. Here's a hood hack for the boys, right? Do you know when you're active, you're out and about with the trap phone and the blower is fucking getting hockeyed out of it by loads of people that are looking for a bit of shit off you, right? And that thing, the battery's getting drained on that fucking thing because you're texting lads, you're ringing lads, you're ignoring other fellas, all sorts of shit, right? So here's how you keep the trap phone from dying when you're in the middle of conducting a bit of business, right? So obviously the first thing that you're going to need is a power bank, portable charger, yeah. But I can already hear your criticism. Oh, what if that thing dies? What if that thing dies? That's where you get two of them. Charge them to 100% and charge the trap phone to 100% before you leave the gaff. And then, right, when you're out, you hook up the two power banks, the two portable chargers to each other. So one is charging the other one and the other one is charging the other one back, creating infinite power. Hook your phone up to that. The thing's never going to die, 100% battery for life. Right, here's a little hood hack for the boys. This one's for when you're in blunt rotation and there's someone there that won't shut the fuck up waffling and it's wrecking your head and you just don't want to listen to them anymore. You want them to just stop, right? Wait until the blunt comes around to you, take a couple of big hits and then do a big fake coughing fit. Launch into like like as loud as fucking possible, like incessantly, constantly, until your man fucking shuts up because no one can hear what he's saying. Hopefully you derail his train of thought and he has nothing else to say and that just shuts the waffler up. Right, here's a little hood hack for the boys. So if you're going to any concert, any event, any function, I'd recommend showing up with a high-vis vest. Just bring your own high-vis vest, which is going to give people this false air, this illusion of authority, as if you're kind of working behind the scenes, as if you're like part of the staff. And you can pretty much get away with whatever the fuck you want then. You can probably just go backstage, no problem. You can walk behind the bar, just take yourself a drink. Do you know what I mean? You can like smoke and vape inside. If anyone says anything, you'd be like, yeah, I know Tony, the fella that's organising this. I work here. What are you? You're getting kicked out, bro. Leave now. You're barred from this place. Here's a little hood hack for when you're out and about and there's like torrential downpour. It just suddenly starts fucking raining, right? And you have no umbrella and you're fucking snapping, right? What you want to do is wait until you see someone who has an umbrella and just sidle up to them and stay beside them and befriend them. Offer them a drag of the joint. Offer them a sup of the naggin that you were just drinking in public at the bus stop. Do you know what I mean? Just fuck whatever you're doing or wherever you're going. You're now tailing this person. Your mission is now befriend them for free shelter underneath their umbrella. Little satirical hood hack for being safe when you're meeting a new plug for the first time. So typically when you meet your new plug for the first time, it's going to be through a mutual. A friend of yours is a customer of theirs. You're going to tell this mutual not to say anything about you to that fella. Just say, me mate's looking for a bit. No further information. You're going to thoroughly vet this plug through the mutual, get as much information on this person as you possibly can, right? When you meet this person, when you contact him, first of all, you're going to want to do it through a burner Snapchat account. No cameo story on that Snapchat
Snapchat account, your Bitmoji has to look fake, the name on it has to be fake, and the location has to be turned off, right? When you meet this fella, if he's doing a delivery, you don't want him to deliver it to your house, because then that motherfucker knows where you're located at. So what you're going to want to do instead is hop a bus or a Lewis or a train, or walk a long distance, meet him somewhere where he doesn't even have a clue where the fuck you're at, right? You're going to want to wear all black everything, and runners in case you need to dash, something that's possibly stab proof or bulletproof in case everything goes completely awry. You might want sunglasses as well as your hood up and a COVID mask, so your the way you look has been completely disguised 100%, right? When you meet this fella, you're gonna want to get it on tick, right? Because then you get to go home and test it and see if it's any good before you fucking pay. And you're gonna want to get a small amount as well. Instead of getting like a half ounce, just get 50 bag, just in case turns out to be shit weed and you're stuck with it.
Here's a little hood hack. It's about a thing called mockies, right? If you don't know what mockies are, I've been recently made aware of this through a comment on one of my videos. They're essentially undercover Garda, right? But they smell and look and sound exactly like fucking homeless people. They just trick you that way. Used to be they were just regular undercover fucking dudes and you could spot them a mile away. Now they're pretending to be fucking homeless. So what you do now is you just treat every single homeless person you interact with as if they are a member of the police. That's my hood hack. Just be like, I'm not saying nothing to you without a solicitor, Mr. Homeless Man. I'm sorry, you could be a police officer.
Here's a little hood hack for 3 different conversational walk back techniques that you can use to backtrack out of like some information. If someone starts Googling it and you're not sure if it's true or not, you might just drop a statement or a fact and then you start doubting it. Someone's like, what? No way, I'll Google that now. And you're like, right. So one of them is, so I believe. That's like the most like vague shit ever. So I believe. I could have just completely made that up. If you say so I believe turns out to be wrong, you'd be like, I don't even know, whatever. So I was told. That's like, if you say that, that's like, I know someone in particular, a specific person who said this, and if this turns out to be wrong, I have the blame to point. So I was told is pretty definitive. And then so I heard. That's like, there could be rumblings. There could be a couple of people speculating. So those are 3 little spices that you can throw in when someone starts Googling some shit that you didn't want them to Google. You can just get out jail free with any of those 3 phrases.
Here's a little hood hack for anyone that's seen the movie Intermission, right? If you're saying a little turn of phrase and you want it to sound even more cool, you just put, as they say in the States. You just say that after you finish your little phrase. You could be like, yeah, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it, as they say in the States. You know what I mean? You could be like, it's all peaches and gravy, as they say in the States. You know what I mean? Someone can finish talking, you just be like, yeah, that's Brontosaurus, as they say in the States. So it amplifies anything, makes it sound way more slick.
Right, here's a little hood hack for the boys, right? This is for when you're out and about, say you're in town and a homeless fella or a brass monkey comes up to you looking for €1 and you just don't want to give it to him, right? I would recommend what you do is you go get like 50 cent or a quid and you convert it into pound sterling and have that in your pocket, and he'll walk up and he'll be looking for the quid and you just hit him with a fake British accent. You just be like, alright geezer, here you go bruv, that's all I got. And you whip out 20 cent in fucking pound sterling, but he doesn't know how much that's worth. He might still take it off you, but you've ultimately just pranked him. That's fun.
This is a hashtag and SPAWNCon hood hack for the boys, right? So, you know the way if you're wearing a tracksuit, you're more likely to get stopped and searched by the guards, right? And that is doubly so if your tracksuit is fresh or just brand new looking, right? So my hood hack would be, also an ad, check out the sponsored link in my bio, is get your tracksuits in Sports Direct, right? Not at all because of they have great prices. If you're a stingy bastard, it's great to go to Sports Direct, but the reason why is after one singular wash in the washing machine on low heat, any clothes you get out of Sports Direct are going to be looking bally and dishevelled as fuck. And now Garda are just going to think you're homeless and tell you to move on rather than think you're selling drugs, right? Hood hack, Sports Direct, you up the butt. Hack for my hash kings out there, right? Nothing better than a bit of hash, yeah. I don't know. I find it more enjoyable than the weed. Weed is like vodka and hash is like beer, right? That'd be my own personal take on it, right? But there can be one issue with smoking hash regularly, and that is hot rock burns. A little bit of the hash falls out of your joint, lands onto your clothes, burns a little circle into it, looks minging, right? So my hood hack for how you get around that is every time you're smoking a hash joint, just run yourself a nice little bath and get in there and smoke it in there, because how are you gonna get hot rocked in the bath? Hood hack for the boys, Right, at hood hack to make yourself look like less suspicious, make you look like more of an innocuous person, right? Just get a pair of glasses. People assume you're nerdy and geeky when you're wearing glasses, and don't assume you're fucking like taking drugs all day every day. Look, I don't even need these. These have been faked. There's nothing more frustrating to a hash smoker than when you get a bash that's really incredibly sticky, right? Because that can just make rolling a joint borderline impossible. It's sticking to your fingers when you're trying to drop it onto the skin. It's sticking to the tobacco when you try and lift your finger away from it. It's just a nightmare, right? So my hood hack hash hack for the boys would be throw that shit in the freezer, right? And leave it in there for like maybe an hour, and then take it out, and it's going to be brittle. It's going to be like ice. You can put it in a soft drink then. It'd be tasty.